They say every lantern carries a wish, but once, long ago, one carried a heartbeat. In the ancient town of Luoyang, where willow trees touched the river and the air smelled of jasmine and ink, lived Mei Lin, a young painter whose art was so alive that birds sometimes landed on her scrolls, mistaking her strokes for sky. Across the street from her studio was a small lantern shop run by June, a quiet craftsman who believed that every flame had its own spirit. Each night, when the last customers left, he would hang one lantern at the corner of the street, and Mei Lin, from her window, would paint it glowing in the dark. Neither spoke to the other, but night after night, they shared light. One spring evening, Mei Lin went to the shop. "Your lanterns never burn out," she said. June smiled. "That's because they burn for someone who keeps watching." He handed her a small red lantern. "For painting," he said. "For warmth," she replied. That night, she painted until dawn, her brush dancing like wind. When she looked at her finished work, she realized she had painted him reflected in the lantern's glow. From that day, she began signing her paintings not with her name, but with a small painted flame. As festivals came, June and Mei Lin spent evenings under rows of golden lanterns, their laughter mingling with the sound of flutes and the scent of steamed buns. "When you release a lantern," June said, "it carries your wish to heaven." Mei Lin whispered, "Then I wish for time to stop here." He told her softly, "Even if time forgets us, light will remember." Before parting, he gave her a lantern painted with two cranes flying together, a symbol of lifelong love. One summer, a storm struck Luoyang. Fire swept through the old quarter, destroying homes and studios, including Mei Lin's. When the smoke cleared, the streets were dark. Even June's lantern shop had vanished. For weeks, Mei Lin searched, no sign of him. Only ashes and pieces of bamboo frames drifting in the canal. She kept the unburnt crane lantern hidden in her sleeve, the last thing that still glowed faintly in the dark. Each night, she lit it and whispered, "If your flame still lives, find mine." A year passed. At the next lantern festival, the sky over the city blazed with light again. Mei Lin walked among the crowd, her small crane lantern in hand, and then among thousands of floating lights, she saw one with her painted flame mark drifting toward her. A voice came from behind. "You kept it alive." June stood there, scars on his hands, soot in his hair, but his eyes burning like the lantern itself. He had survived, rebuilding his craft in another town. The first lantern he made again, he said, was hers. They walked by the river, their lanterns reflecting side by side. "Now," he whispered, "light remembers." Centuries later, in Luoyang, travelers still speak of the two lanterns, a pair that always drift together on the river each year during the festival. When the wind dies and the crowd grows silent, the two lanterns flicker in rhythm. One painted with cranes, the other marked with a tiny flame. Locals say it's Mei Lin and June, the painter and the lantern maker, still lighting the river so no heart ever searches in darkness again. Because love, the elders say, is not the fire that burns, it's the light that stays.